Hello, Safari Mack fans. Welcome to Dolphins Part 2. I am Safari Mack, your guide and host, helping you make connections to the wild. First of all, I hope each and every one of you has had a great week, and I hope you were able to catch yesterday's video of cetacean evolution. If you haven't done so, though, be sure to check it out first and then come back to Part 2. But if you have, let's get started. If we're all set and ready to go, let's continue our ocean fun with the dolphins. Now, let's talk about the wild things. First of all, let's talk about some of the basics about dolphins. Or maybe I should really be referring to the basics of mammals. What are the characteristics of mammals? Let's see if we can name them all off. They have a warm-blooded metabolism. They produce milk and care for their young. They have really, really big brains, which can help them adapt to new changes in their environment. And another wild thing, hair. Now, okay, maybe dolphins aren't exactly wearing that awesome, beautiful configuration of hair, but believe it or not, dolphins and whales actually do have a very tiny bits of hair when they are first born, when they first come out of their mother. But naturally, of course, living underwater, it naturally just comes off and it really doesn't grow. So this helps us show a characteristic of being a mammal. Now, here's another wild thing. Skin. Now, have you ever touched a dolphin? I bet you have. For me, I've probably pet at some marine parks. I have petted more than enough dolphins than I care to count, and it feels all smooth and slippery, right? You know what's the biggest secret with that? Believe it or not, dolphins actually can shed their skin once every 2 hours. That's right, constantly shedding that old skin, which helps them give that extra burst of speed. Not just the powerful movements from their fluke, but really, being streamlined, they're able to go from here to over there, just like that. What else is there? Dolphins, as we know, are highly intelligent animals. In fact, even in human care, we can see exactly how playful and even sometimes mischievous these creatures can be. One concept of their intelligence: they're one of the few animals in the world, apart from humans, that can instantly recognize even their own reflection. Now, in human care, such as aquariums or ocean parks, we've been able to note exactly how intelligent they are. But their lives out at sea are even more amazing. In the wild, we have found even more displays of extreme intelligence. Here's one. So, if you remember from part 1 of the dolphin, I said that dolphins have different ways of catching fish. One way that I didn't mention was that sometimes fish actually bury themselves in the sand, and dolphins, using their special echolocation where they send out a noise and then wait for it to come back, they can identify what's in the water. If it's too dark or even if it's cloudy, they're able to find their food this way. But now, there's another kind of fish that could be hiding in the sand that can be dangerous for dolphins, and that could be stonefish. One hit and ow! So how do they do this? So how do they avoid this? Dolphins have been observed using tools. No, not like a monkey wrench or even a hammer, but instead, dolphins will actually seek out sponges and will use that as a way to dig through the sand to catch prey. They've even been known to find sponges and even certain corals and rub against their skin, which is kind of like their version of skincare products to keep them healthy as well as give them some extra protections. Now, unfortunately, despite their popularity and their loving nature, dolphins are facing a really hard time out in the ocean. One of the biggest problems? Pollution. Now, it can occur from their food being poisoned, which they know to never eat dead fish. You will never see a dolphin actually catch and eat dead fish. They're too smart for that. But their food could be poisoned, and or they may be sickly, and they can die. They could die from those toxins. Although that kind of pollution isn't really the only form that marine life really has to worry about. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in my post up on World Oceans Day, ladies and gentlemen, in the oceans right now, there are all sorts of trash and garbage mucking up their world. Now, I know what you may be thinking. These creatures are so intelligent. Wouldn't they know the difference to stay away from it? Well, maybe not. It's not that they're not dumb. It's just, if you think about it long and hard enough, garbage isn't part of their natural world. This is a world, they're living in a world that is big, vast, open, and many different forms of marine life. This, maybe at first it's maybe something fun to chew on or to even play with, but maybe they accidentally swallow it. Unfortunately, a number of whales and dolphins sometimes have been found dead, and when they do an autopsy to figure out what killed them, they find garbage inside their stomachs. They can't process that. They can't digest it. It just stays in there, and that can kill them. But there's other problems that we're causing for them as well. Believe it or not, it may be playful fun to feed them in the wild, but ladies and gentlemen, you may be actually doing a lot more harm than you realize, because dolphins or whales that get too acclimated or too comfortable around people can often become a danger to themselves as well as to boaters. Many have been reported struck or killed because people were too close. There's even a problem with many dolphins now, in a way, becoming deaf because of boat activity or even sonar activity. There's a lot of issues going on out there in their ocean world. But probably another big issue that we are directly causing without realizing it is over-harvesting of seafood. Now, at first you may think that the oceans are so big, like we can't possibly outfish them. Unfortunately, maybe we can. The problem, the fish just can't reproduce fast enough to keep up with our constant demand for fish, and neither can they keep it up for the marine life. The marine life then can starve. And really, does that sound fair? Because it doesn't sound fair to me. Thankfully, though, we are implementing many different ways in how we can help. And here's one of the biggest ways that we're helping them. Back on October 21st, 1972, Congress passed the Marine Mammal Protection, which, quote, it's a national policy to prevent marine mammal species and population stocks from declining beyond the point where they cease to be significant functioning elements of the ecosystems of which they are a part. So, with that, in addition to that, marine parks and ocean aquariums are actually helping to study not just those out in the wild that are living, but even the dead are providing a kind of service. So some agencies, like the Fish and Wildlife government functions, they will call these places and tell them that they received a dead dolphin, and then these ocean labs or even aquariums could perform autopsies to uncover exactly what the animal died from, whether it's environmental, human caused, maybe disease. Because dolphins are seen as an indicator species, meaning they can tell us a lot about their environment, about what's going on, and how we may need to make better changes. Another big way of how we could possibly help them, ocean sanctuaries. So we can close off an area where people can't interfere and they can stay safe, as well as their food source. But now, for those that are outside their food source, here's how you can help. Monterey Bay Aquarium came out with a thing called Seafood Watch, which I'll leave the link to so that you can learn a little bit more for yourself. Even pick up a guide down in the description below. But with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, we need to continue to do our part to keep marine life safe, because with a world without dolphins really is unimaginable. I mean, I hope that maybe my future children would one day be able to see dolphins in the wild. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed our first marine animal. Be sure to join me next week as we uncover, near the coast of South America, the Magellanic penguins. But until then, Hit the like and subscribe button, check out Facebook, and send me an email. Till then, this is Safari Mack. I'll see you all out there.